DJ Akademiks just made the biggest mistake of his career and the internet is roasting him alive. We're talking about non-stop backlash, Twitch bans, and people calling for his career to be over. And the worst part, he did this to himself. For those who don't know, DJ Akademiks is one of the biggest names in hip-hop media. He built his platform from the ground up, turning himself into a go-to source.
People outside the culture of Chicago, they hyped up the music, not knowing that real lives were being affected, deaths and other type of madness happened.
For rap news, drama, and industry gossip. But with that fame has come a long history of controversy. He's been in public beefs with rappers, streamers, and even mainstream media. But this time, he might not be able to walk away from this one. The situation unfolded on one of his usual late-night Discord gaming sessions where he was kicking it with fans, talking his usual talk. But what should have been a regular stream turned into a nightmare when DJ Akademiks and a group of grown men started making wildly inappropriate comments to a young fan. And unfortunately for Ak, the entire thing was streamed live. As a young fan, we'll call Billy. Now, we're not going to say Billy's exact age, but let's just say Billy is way too young to be part of this type of conversation. At some point, one of the other grown men in the call asked Billy, "Hey, have you ever watched Netflix with a girl?" Now, if you don't know what that means, check the comments because it's not about Netflix. But Billy, showing way more common sense than the adults in the room, immediately shut it down. He responded, "Nah, I'm not that age. I can't be doing that type of stuff." That right there should have been the end of the conversation, but it wasn't. Instead of moving on, the grown men in the call, including Akademiks, kept pushing the topic. Billy had already said no, had already set the boundary, but they kept egging him on. And that's when DJ Akademiks decided to open his mouth and make things worse. Instead of shutting it down, Akademiks took things to a whole new level of weird. He brought up a popular streamer named Plaque Boy Max, a streamer Billy happens to be a huge fan of. But instead of asking something normal, Akademiks took it to a disturbing place. Akademiks asked, "Billy, if Plaque Boy Max asked you to watch Netflix with him, would you do it?" Billy, still the only person in the call acting like an adult, immediately responded, "Let me stop you right there. I'm not that age. Plaque Boy Max is that age." He had to literally remind Akademiks that he was a kid and that this was not okay. But Akademiks wasn't done. He kept pushing, asking, "Have you ever had a dream about Plaque Boy Max?" Now, Billy, still not realizing how hard they were trying to set him up, answered innocently, "Yeah, I had a dream that I met him because I'm a huge fan." That's all it took. Akademiks and the other men in the call started laughing, clowning Billy, and making fun of him for having a dream about another guy. They kept going, kept pressuring this kid, bullying him live on stream, and that's when people watching started to realize how bad this was. Now, if you know how the internet works, you already know what happened next. Somebody clipped the entire conversation, posted it on Twitter, and within hours, Akademiks' name was trending. For all the wrong reasons, people were outraged, calling it weird, inappropriate, and straight up unacceptable. At first, a lot of people thought this was just another Akademiks controversy, something he'd laugh off and move past. But the more people watched the clip, the worse it got. This wasn't just Ak beefing with a rapper or talking crazy about a celebrity. This was Ak trying to embarrass and humiliate a kid on stream. And when the right people saw the clip, yeah, all hell broke loose. Now, here's where things got even worse for Ak. Because Billy is actually Plaque Boy Max's moderator, meaning this is a kid that looks up to him. So when the clip made its way to Plaque Boy Max, he was furious. He addressed it immediately, saying when Billy is like a little brother to him, and the fact that grown men were talking to him like that was beyond disgusting. Two Akademiks had the audacity to DM him afterwards, saying, "Why didn't you call me for context?" As if the full unedited clip wasn't enough context already. 3. And most importantly, he warned his audience, who are also mostly younger fans, to stay far away from grown men trying to talk to them like that. Akademiks was already losing fans, but when other big streamers started speaking out against him, that's when the real damage started. At this point, the internet was fully against Akademiks, but the real death blow came when Twitch stepped in. Akademiks makes most of his money streaming on Twitch. It's his main platform where he has a massive audience, and Twitch Twitch, they weren't playing. Without hesitation, they banned him. No warnings, no suspensions, just straight up gone. And you already know when a platform bans you, that's when things start getting really bad, because it's not just about the ban, it's about the sponsors, the deals, and the money that disappears with it. So what does Akademiks do? The same thing he always does. He tries to talk his way out of it. Instead of taking accountability, he blames cancel culture. He says, this is all Kendrick Lamar fans trying to take me down. Bro, what? Then when people keep pressing him, he finally pretends to apologize. He drops a video saying, from the bottom of my heart, but then he just starts talking about how much money he makes and how people just want to see him fail. That wasn't an apology. That was damage control, and nobody was buying it. At this point, DJ Akademiks' reputation is in free fall. It's not just fans calling him out, it's fellow creators, streamers, and even people in the music industry. Big names in hip-hop media start distancing themselves, not wanting to be associated with someone facing this kind of controversy. Even rappers who used to be cool with him start staying silent, refusing to defend him. And when people you've supported for years don't even want to speak on your name, that's when you know you messed up. The worst part, it's not just about this one incident. This situation is making everyone reflect on Ak's past behavior. People start digging up old clips of him saying wild, reckless things, and suddenly it's looking like this isn't just a one-time mistake, it's a pattern. If there's one thing that really matters in this business, it's the money. And once a scandal like this takes off, the money starts disappearing fast. Brands don't want to be tied to controversy. They don't want to risk their reputation by backing someone who might become a liability. And DJ Akademiks, he's looking like a major liability right now. Within days of the backlash, companies that once worked with him start quietly backing away. Streaming platforms drop their partnerships. Advertisers start pulling their deals. The same brands that were lining up to work with him last year are suddenly nowhere to be found. And in this industry, once the money starts drying up, things go from bad to worse real quick. So now the big question is this really the end of DJ Akademiks? Look, we've seen a lot of people in the industry take massive hits to their reputation and somehow bounce back. We've seen scandals come and go, and some people manage to survive them. But the difference here, Akademiks has built his entire brand on his reputation. He's not a rapper. He's not an artist. He's a personality. If people stop rocking with him, his entire business falls apart. And right now, the trust is gone. His fans are disappointed. The industry is backing away. The platforms that made him millions are dropping him. So if he does come back, it won't be the same. This scandal might not fully end his career, but it definitely just changed it forever. So where does Akademiks go from here? For years, he's been one of the biggest names in hip-hop media. He built an empire off controversy, drama, and saying whatever he wanted with no consequences. But now the consequences are here. He's banned from Twitch. He's losing sponsors. He's getting clowned by the entire internet. And worst of all, the trust is gone. At this point, his career will never be the same. Even if he keeps going, he's lost a huge chunk of his audience. People are starting to see him differently. And in this business, once your credibility is gone, you're done. So is this really the end of DJ Akademiks? Maybe not completely, but one thing is certain. He just took the biggest L of his career, and there might not be any coming back from this.